All right. You ready?
Yeah, as ready as I'll ever be.
All right. Coming at you in 3, 2.
I think you need to say clearly what happened.
Who gives a fuck?
I don't care if you personally kick Candace Owens and her stinky
Cray.
No good thing starts with, I was thinking about my ex.
He ain't learned his lesson. That's a brother ain't gonna learn shit.
I know this is gonna be unpopular, and I don't care.
Let's keep this shit funky.
Welcome. Salutations, peace. What's unpopping, good people? Welcome to the Unpopin. Oh, well, shoot. I messed up already. Welcome to, what is the name of the show? It's Unpopin Show, but home of unpopular opinions. There we go. God damn it.
You need a drink.
I might. that little brain fart brought to you by what's his name? Walker?
Hershel Walker.
Hershel Walker, that dude. It's been a while since we've been on here. As we come towards the end of the year, we kind of wind down a little bit. So, this may be one of, if not the last show you see of us of 2022. We'll be back at it in 2023, and more ignorance and our perspective on a litany of subjects or whatever. But you know what? Damn it! I've said all of this. It's getting off for too bad. So let me start this one more time. Let me try this. Let me do this. What's happening? What's cracking? What's up, poppin' good people? Welcome to the Unpoppin' Show, home of unpopular opinions. I'm T Storm, and joined by, as always, my brother in crime, DJ Mike Swift.
What's up? I'm leaving all of that in, right? Like, make sure you pay the cost of admission as you come in the door. Hit the subscribe button, hit the notification bell, set it to all notifications so you can be alerted when we drop a new show. Hit the like button because that is the biggest tool that YouTube uses to throw us in the algorithm and get us suggested so that we can continue to grow. And if you feel so inclined, leave a comment.
Yes.
I've been practicing it.
Good deal. I've apparently have absorbed stupid from Hershel Walker. It's been this is what happens when you exposed to too much stupid. It starts rubbing off on you. And man, we got a hefty dose of stupid this last election there in Georgia. Thank goodness the outcome was the desirable, the most logical and sensible of the outcomes that we would have wanted. Warnock won, but just the fact that it was that many millions of people that voted for Hershel Walker,
and I got into a big conversation about this a couple of nights ago, because obviously I'm in Georgia and voted in that election, and it was a lot of conversation about it, and why would people vote for Hershel Walker, and it's racist that they have him up there anyway, and it was all of that. But look, people vote for their team. It's a binary political system for the most part. I mean, I know that there are other parties, but the parties that have all of the sway and power are the Republican and Democrat. And even when you hear people talk about the other parties, they say, well, why would you vote for the other party? Because that's just giving the vote to this side or that side.
Right,
it's diluting the vote, right? They have no chance of winning. So you dilute the opportunity for the Democratic Party or Republican Party to win by voting for somebody else. So it's essentially binary. I think the question that came up was, why would he run? Why is he running? Well, Georgia has
all his life. He's run all his life in his mind.
Run, Forrest, run.
Run, Forrest. Run, Walker, run.
Look,
run politically, run on the football field. What's the difference?
As long as you ain't got a dog behind you, it's
Even then.
No, but
Sorry.
it's Georgia over the years is and let me preface this by saying I'm not a huge political person by no stretch of the imagination, but Georgia historically would vote Republican. Well, that has been changing a lot over the years, and it has definitely changed in the last few elections. So if you've got the first African American senator in Georgia elected,
First African American and first Jewish senator as well.
with it was Warnock and Ossoff. Yeah.
Yeah.
I think Ossoff is Jewish. I'm not positive if Ossoff is Jewish or not.
Maybe he's not the first, but he's definitely the first out of Georgia. So,
The people who won office in Georgia looked a certain way for a very long time. Well, not all, the vast majority of looked a certain way for a long time. Discounting Atlanta mayoral races, which that typically
Wakanda.
You said it's Wakanda.
Atlanta is Wakanda.
Now you got an image of Keisha Lance Bottoms as Black Panther in my brain.
Yes. That's all I see. And when I lived in Georgia, that's what it felt like. It was like all these, oh my goodness, this is wonderful. Around my people.
Wakanda if they were twerking. That would be Atlanta.
If Wakanda had a hood. Okay. What would the strip clubs look like in Wakanda? Well, that would be Club Nicky's.
Blue Flame,
all that. Shout out to the dancers in those establishments. I think Nicky's is gone now, right?
Oh, yeah,
Nicky's
has been gone for a long time.
Okay, so Magic City. There we go.
Magic City is still there. Yeah. But now that the vote is shifting in Georgia, it makes sense from a strategic standpoint to put up an African-American Republic running for office. It just makes sense. Again, from a strategic standpoint. Now, who you put up matters, right? Yeah. I think they put up Hershel Walker because essentially our politics right now are popularity contest, and he quite possibly has the most known name in the state of Georgia. So, I mean, strategically, it makes sense to select an African-American to run for Senate on the Republican side, but I just don't think Hershel was the best choice to fill that seat.
Oh, I mean, that's an understatement.
You see, I'm trying to be nice. I'm trying to be nice.
Okay, this is not going to sound good at all. So please forewarn. But you know when certain people say, I can get a monkey to do your job. Oh. Well, they got close.
Oh God. You got to put that in that goes in your set. That goes in your set.
Well, I could get a monkey to do your job.
Oh,
here come Hershel Walker.
Said, come stumbling out like Kramer. Somebody call me.
Somebody call me. Okay. For those who are watching and listening, I am going also live on my Facebook page right now. So you may see me interact with some people on the thingamajiggy. Yeah, that. You get what I'm saying. I'm sorry, I'm distracted. Forgive me. This is why you shouldn't do this and drive. I see people do it. Can you imagine if I was driving right now going live? Oh, that would not
TikTok
be cute.
videos and YouTube videos. People are driving and recording.
Horrible.
I'm like, y'all are out of y'all mind.
Horrible. Any case, yeah. So no, I don't do that. I sit here and work on my podcast. I'm supposed to be paying attention to. Oh, Kelly's on. My friend, Mr. Kinsey is on. Yes, I am podcasting right now, Mr. Kinsey. Do you have any opinion on Hershel Walker? Matter of fact, come on here. You know, Mike Kinsey, my other friend Mike Kinsey is down in Sarasota, Florida. Let me see if I can get him in on here real quick. Jump on, man. Hit the request to be on. In case. Yeah, so that happened. Hershel Walker was almost the it's the raciest thing I've ever seen. They because him and Warnock were like seemingly polar opposite, the most polar opposite as you can be.
Yes.
Opponent, and I'm not even talking about ideas, because Hershel Walker didn't have any ideas. He was out talking about
Look,
he was talking vampires and werewolves and stuff. I like how Obama flamed him about it too. He was like, "Yeah, the choices between being a werewolf and a vampire." Obama was like, "Hey, me, I can't. I have to admit, I too have had this debate, but I was 7." Yo, Obama got to do stand up for real.
I would pay to see it,
because his timing, he has impeccable. I mean, comedic time, natural comedic timing. I would love to see. I mean, the closest to it was when they did the what's the dinner they do when they
press dinner, the White House press dinner, something like that.
And he roasted the hell out of Trump, which actually probably inspired Trump to run for office.
Trump said, "I'll show you."
Yeah. And we had a black president, and then we had a nigga in office. So, in any case, moving on.
Damn.
So, speaking of, your man Derrick Jaxn is Derrick Jaxn, the what do we call him? Is he a relationship guru?
Well, he is
He fashions himself.
He is a shamed relationship guru, YouTuber, and apparent cheater. He got caught out there, and then brought his. I got a picture of him up right now. Put his wife out on blast and did the video. So, if you're rolling in the YouTube streets, you know who he is. If not,
he had his wife out there in the bonnet, and then they tried to justify it. You see bonnet, I see a helmet of
they tried to put it on God.
Sanctification or something.
They was trying to put that on God. I'm like, leave God out your mess.
He was out there rolling in extramarital booty and got caught.
Again.
And over and over. And so he's disappeared for a while, and I hadn't heard anything about him for a while. He was self-involved dude too. Like, just to hear him speak about himself in the third person all the time. I'm like, dude, what? Okay. Anywho, so there's a YouTuber by the name of Tasha K. I think it's the same woman that was sued by Cardi B, in fact.
Indeed, it is the same person.
So she posted up some photos of Mr. Jaxn and a woman in somewhere out in Miami canoodling and out in whatever the case, and it wasn't his wife again, which inspired him in less than 48 hours to say, okay, me and my wife were, announced that they're getting divorced. So the way I understand it, though, his wife wasn't on the same page, because not too long ago she was, blasting about and telling people how to work out your situations in marriage and to overcome infidelity and all this and that. So this must be news to her. Your thoughts, Mike?
So I roll in these YouTube streets a little bit. Actually, a lot. I watch way more YouTube than I should. I'll just be honest. Look, everybody makes mistakes. Everybody makes bad choices. Everybody is human. Right. I don't think the blowback on him would have been so bad.
I think he enjoyed the blowback. That's why he kept going out there in the streets. That's what got him in trouble in the first place. That bonnet wasn't getting it for him, apparently, and so he wanted some blowback. Sorry, that was just too easy.
No, look, I don't think It's hard to be serious. Look, I don't think it would have been so bad on him. I think people would have been bothered by it, but they wouldn't have gotten so into it the way they did if he wasn't just such a huge panderer. Like,
I thought you were gonna say piece of shit, but continue. That would have fit too. Continue.
Fair enough. But he built a very profitable YouTube career, and I can't remember where he was in terms of followers before the great fall of, what was that, 2020 or 2021, whenever he got caught. But I think he was well over 1 million subscribers on YouTube, and that translates into money. And he built this great career off of bashing and bad mouthing dudes. Like, no matter what the situation was, it's like if somebody came up and said, I cheated on my husband, and now our relationship is falling apart. His take on it.
His fault. That was his fault.
His take on it would be, well, the only reason you cheated on your husband is because that your husband wasn't man enough to satisfy all of your needs, and that forced you to have to go out. Every time he spun it to be the man's fault. So he was pandering to women and giving them stuff that wasn't really true and things that didn't help them in the long term. So when he showed up in life as the very person he talked bad about, they were done with him. They were done with him.
Yeah, I just find it funny. You know, I'm trying to see if I can say this. It's always okay. I have been married for 10 years. I am no way an expert on relationship. I'm not even an expert on my relationship. I'm learning.
Your wife is, though.
She got it. Seriously, no, you learn every day, you grow every day, and that's what, and if you stay humble and understand that you don't know everything, that keeps you pretty grounded. And you can offer some advice. This is what works for me. And preface it that way, that it doesn't necessarily work. The same thing doesn't work for everybody. What you do in your relationship, you have to figure out what works for you. Now, prefacing it that way, it's always very skeptical to watch people show up and, present themselves as relationship experts.
Yeah. Because
no one is perfect. No one knows everything. And, like I said, what works for you doesn't necessarily work for everyone. You know what I mean? But there's clearly a lot of money to be made, and people are always looking to, oh, well, what should I do? And to other people to tell them what to do in their relationship. I mean, even like church counselors don't profess to know everything. They get their, the ideas and give you ideas on here's some clues maybe to try these things out. They're not telling you this will work. They're not saying that this is, what I mean? It's just very questionable when I see people, to see these relationship gurus and pros pop up, you know what I'm saying? And it's never somebody that's in a successful relationship or had been in a successful relationship. It's somebody that's been married 4 or 5 times. Like, they got it perfect because of the 4 or 5 times.
I look at the church ones a little bit different, right? Because I'm in agreement, right? For the most part, I'm in agreement. I do take advice with a grain of salt, right? There can be some good stuff in it, some bad stuff in it. Take what you need, discard the rest, right? That's kind of how I look at it. But I look at church a little bit differently. There is a foundation of where they start from. When they start talking to you about your relationship and how to make your relationship work, there's a theology and a process, and it's based on, well, the scripture says this. So if you want this outcome, then follow the scripture this way. Whether it works for you or if it doesn't work for you, it's built out of something. I think the ones that are just kind of popping up on YouTube and popping up on Instagram, to some degree, they're basing it out of their personal experience, which is not good, right? Because your personal experience is your personal experience. And even just a little bit deeper than just the everybody lives their own life and they have their own reality. Everybody has their own influences, dating all the way back to how you were brought up. You may have some deep ingrained, I don't even want to call it trauma, ideals about what relationships look like based on your parents' relationships. You may not actively mentally go to that place, but that's your foundational thing that's under all of what you do. So when you start talking to somebody else about what they should do, you're actually telling them to some degree, do what my parents did, or do whatever the primary example of relationships in my life, do what they did. And again, it might be some good stuff in that. It might not be, but it's not a one size fits all.
Mike is stuck. Okay, for folks that are just joining on Facebook here, I'm recording my Unpopin Show podcast. And I'm just want to make sure that you guys can hear. Oh, here comes Mike. He's coming back. He's cutting in and out. There was a little problem. You were frozen for a little bit. I was explaining to our audience that we're recording our podcast. And I want to make sure that they can hear both me and Mike. You can hear both of us, correct, folks? Hey, what's up, T? Jay Bug, Steve Johnson. What's happening, people? All right,
Yeah,
so if you back.
I'm back. I had you the entire time, so I think you just lost me over there. But I was done talking. I said all I had to say about that. I don't wish bad on anybody. I hope he finds what he's looking for, and ultimately his wife is happy. I if you've watched any of these shows, I'm not the biggest proponent for marriage, but I don't get any joy in seeing people's marriages fall apart. So
That's because that's hard on everyone.
yes, it is.
What was it that you would do?
You said it was
jump
hard.
into?
You said it was hard on everyone. That's what
It was
got him
hard
in
on
trouble.
everyone.
That's what got him in
Yeah.
trouble.
Yeah, he was past. He was.
He was hard on everyone.
He was hard on everyone, and the blowback. I mean, he just enjoyed the blowback just a bit too much.
Oh my God. I think he started out doing fitness stuff. He probably should just go back to that.
Yeah, but no.
Well, that also got him in trouble too.
Yeah,
Fitness.
because he was fitting into everything. He's trying to fit into every damn thing.
Oh
Don't you,
God.
Mike Jackson? First of all, why did you spell his name with the Jax? Jackson. DJ Barry Blends, what's up? What's up? What's up, Blends? We got people jumping in. Hey.
Wait.
Any case, what was it? I'm representing for Luke right now. If you can see my hat, there's a conversation I'll bring up in a minute. But Mike, what did you want to talk about?
What did I want to talk about? I wanted to talk about Brittney Griner.
Oh, okay. All right. Yes, let's Brittney Griner. Let's go.
So if you haven't heard the news, Brittney Griner has been released. At the time of this recording, I think she is actually back in the U.S., enjoying the comforts of the United States in her home, and she's around her friends and family, and
Yes.
all is right with the world.
Yes, but she'll never drink vodka again.
Some people are not very happy about this news.
That's the most ridiculous thing, though. I mean, so okay, continue, because I'm not a foreign. What's it? Not foreign exchange, but as if I'm not a diplomatic expert at I don't even know how to say the damn phrase. So in terms of what was in place to bring her home, as opposed to the reported, I hear a lot of people complaining and comparing. There's a report, and I forget his name is Paul someone. I forget his. I'm not as reversed on this, but I think if you do some research, I clearly haven't. But there's a journalist that was accused of being a spy that's been locked up in Russia for far longer than Brittney Griner. I think he's been there for some years.
Yep.
Russia's refusing to send him, and so I've seen it on social media. People are like, "Oh, they brought Brittney Griner home, but who hates America." That's from a certain complexion of people. But they ain't bring this journalist home, and when they gonna bring him? And I think President Biden actually addressed that already. That the deal that they made was the deal they was able to get done. For now, they're still trying to bring him home and understand it's frustrating, but they did what they could do. And that's my understanding of it, period, point blank, done.
Okay. So there's that angle. There's also talk of a Marine, and I can't remember the gentleman's name, but there's a Marine that's also over there that they felt like they probably should have brought that person home instead of Brittney, which, you know, I get it. You get the deal done that you can get done.
Right.
Where I think most people are disconnecting is who they did the deal for. They traded Brittney Griner for a gentleman that goes by the name of, I think it's pronounced Victor Bout, B-O-U-T. He is most commonly known as the Merchant of Death, one of the biggest and most notorious arms dealer in the history of arms dealers.
I mean, I think that's disgusting. The fact that he was out there selling arms, like, was he, you know, were people disconnected from them as he sold them? I couldn't even say it with a straight face.
And I saw where you were going. And it was
he out there selling people arms and shit, you know what I'm saying? Like we all don't need our own arms. Where are you getting these extra arms from? That's what people sound like discussing this.
But no, they feel like the what you gave up
was way
downstream is going to cause more trouble than what you've gained. And I agree.
I can see that.
However, I think you can be happy that she is no longer there. And out of a ridiculous sentence, I would say that sentence was ridiculous. It was like 9 years. It wasn't like she got caught with a suitcase full of coke trying to smuggle it in, right? So
maybe she should have. They might have let her go. Right. You know?
It was like, we need to talk to you in the back as they're getting their little mirror trays and their razors.
Right.
You got to go back 2 shows for that joke to make sense.
Brittney, is this yours? Okay.
You are free to go.
You're free to go now. That's my first Russian accent, people.
I try it all the time and he just looks at me. It's just like.
Yeah. But no, I see that point. I understand. Again, for me, it's just like I think that whatever was done the best way they could do it. And also politically, it doesn't. You know, is that a win for for Black and brown people?
I don't think so.
No,
I don't think so. I think. Look, I think it's a win for her and her family. Right? She gets to be home. She gets to not be over there in prison anymore for something she really shouldn't have been in prison for to begin with. But I think it's, and maybe this is just me being cynical, I think it's, look, see, Black people, we do care about you. Make sure you vote for us in the next election. Right? I don't think it was altruistic. I don't think it was out of a let's help the Black and brown community. Just maybe I'm just a cynic. I don't know.
Yeah. I'm not as. I mean, I'm glad that she's home. I'm glad that she was released, and and unharmed. I'm not that invested in it.
Fair enough.
You know what I mean? I'm not as invested in it because the other side of it, while yes, the sentence was ridiculous. Why are you over there with with hemp oil or anything questionable that, you know what I'm saying? If I go to Jamaica, I'm not trying. If I buy weed in Jamaica, it stays in Jamaica. I'm not trying to bring it home.
Right. You can't put your leftovers on the plane.
Right. What are you doing?
This ain't Thanksgiving dinner.
You flush it and you keep it pushing. It was only $1 anyway. So what am I, you know what I'm saying? What are you risking it all for? And to be in Russia, which is not a friend of the United States in the first place. Like, yeah, you just look. I try riding the train in New York City. I try to stay out the way and unseen, and I'm 6'5". So if I was coming from Russia, I'm trying not to cause any type of issues or break any laws because you just never know, especially in another country, what they going to trip on or how they going, how you going to do. I mean, that's my point of it. I'm not placing the blame fully on her, but she does bear some responsibility on the outcome.
100%. I couldn't agree more. But I think people might beat her up a little bit too much on that. Yeah, she's responsible. Yes, she shouldn't have done it. Did it warrant a 9-year prison sentence? No.
Of course not.
So I think, yes, she should be punished for what she did, but let the punishment fit the crime.
Right.
And then on the flip side of that, we have no control over what the punishment is in Russia. That's their country. They get to do what they want to do.
That's the point. You don't know what the rules are. You spit in the street, that could be an issue.
Yep. So
you don't want to, as Americans, we could be very self-centered and pretty ignorant of, other people's cultures and especially traveling abroad and do something and cause an international incident, which this was.
While we're talking about Brittney and obviously she's in the WNBA. Have you, and no, we didn't plan on talking about this. It just kind of popped into my head. Have you been following the news and debates and conversations about equal pay within the WNBA and FIFA?
Hey folks, listen. So what's happening is this is the end of the year, and me and Mike are trying to get drunk and knock boots. You know what it is. So we have recorded a lot of content for you. Unfortunately, you're not going to see all of it right now. What you saw right now was just part 1. Part 2 is coming a little later on, but we need to be later on in the week or probably next week, like when we normally put out episodes. But in any case, hope you enjoyed this so far. If you haven't subscribed already, make sure you subscribe and let your folks know about this. And pick up on part 2. We'll be back here. Thank you for watching. Thank you for listening. Mike, any last words? Because we have no idea what we were just talking about just this last second.
Ho, ho, ho.
Yeah, peace.